Taste test. It's very, very good. Very smooth, very creamy. Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. Today is Sunday, and on Sundays I like to make something for dessert. So today I'm going to be making flan. This is my husband's favorite dessert. He is Mexican, so of course it is flan. So first thing I get going is I start to melt down 3/4 of a cup of sugar and turn that into caramel. I have a medium saucepan here and I have it on about medium heat, and I'm just going to keep an eye on this while I also get the rest of my ingredients ready. I am going to preheat my oven to 325, and I will show you everything else I have that will mix up. So in this bowl here I have 5 eggs that I'm going to whisk up really well. And then to that, I'm going to add a can of sweetened condensed milk. And I like to mix these in as I add them one at a time. I feel like it helps it mix together a lot better instead of adding everything all at once and then mixing it, especially because the sweetened condensed milk is so thick and heavy. And then I add 1 can of evaporated milk. And then I like to add about a cup of heavy cream. I probably should have grabbed a bigger bowl for this, but this will work just fine. I'll just have to stir this a little bit more gentle. I usually just eyeball this, but about half the container. And also we're gonna sieve this through a fine mesh strainer, and that will just get out any lumps or anything in it. So that way you have a very smooth flan. I've had a few flans that I think that's something that it hadn't been done with those, that the texture was not smooth at all. It was more like lumpy, bumpy, and I like a nice smooth flan. And then I just eyeball the vanilla, but about a tablespoon. I always use this vanilla. It's a Mexican vanilla. I do sometimes find it at Walmart. Sometimes if your Walmart has like a Mexican food section, it would be in that area. But I feel like this is definitely the best vanilla. Aside from being able to go to Mexico and just get the vanilla that they have, theirs is absolutely superior. So there's that mixture, and then I'm going to put it through a fine mesh strainer into this bowl. Also, while still stirring my sugar over here consistently, it is starting to, I'll show you, it is starting to turn into caramel. Just let that keep going. So I'll take this. I have two strainers. The red one is the only one I use for flan, and then the other one is for salsas. So I have a red handled one and a blue handled one, so that way I never mix them up, because I would never want to put this mixture through a strainer that I put salsa through. So just set that aside, and then I'm just going to pour this through here, and that is what is going to make you have a very smooth consistency in your flan when it's done. It'll definitely like melt in your mouth. And I just pull this up out of here. I just like to scrape the bottom of it. I'm not worried about anything that catches on the inside. Just like that. And then this we will transfer over to our baking dish as soon as our caramel is done. We put that in first, and then we'll pour this over top. You can see here our caramel is getting close to being done. I just have a few pieces that have not crystallized yet. I'm going to turn the heat down And let this finish up. And as soon as we get the rest of these little pieces melted, we'll be able to transfer this to our pan. As you can see here, all the sugar is melted. We have a nice dark caramel sauce, and we are going to put that in the bottom of our pan. Alright, so I have my caramel sauce here, and I'm going to scrape all of this into this pan. You have to be very careful. This pan gets very hot once you start putting the caramel into it. So I just like to scrape it as quickly as I can. Also, it starts to harden very quickly. And then what I like to do is, I only make sure I get it coating the whole bottom. I don't worry about it getting it up the sides. The spatula a little bit to help me out. And then what I like to do is just set this directly into this pan so I don't have to move it again. And I will pour the whole mixture over the caramel. And then what we're going to do is we're going to cover it up with a piece of tin foil. And I always do this first before I add the water, just because it makes it a lot easier. And then we're going to pour in some water, just so it goes up the pan a little bit, so the caramel on the bottom melts back down but doesn't burn. And also it'll put steam in the oven. And then this will go in the oven for anywhere from an hour to an hour and 20 minutes, just depending. I usually check it after about an hour and then see how much longer it takes. So I'm just going to put this in the oven and then we'll check on it in a little bit. So this has been in the oven for an hour and 20 minutes. And when you take it out, it should just be a little jiggly to the touch. That means it's done. So I'm going to let this sit and cool for about 20 minutes. And then I'm going to just transfer this and go put it in the freezer for a little bit. Usually if you had more time, you can just put it in the fridge overnight. We want to have this in the next couple hours. So I'm just going to put this in the freezer. And then later I am going to transfer it to, I like to put it in this pie dish. It helps hold in the caramel and everything. So I will show you later. I'm going to put it in here and then it'll be ready to serve up. So this has been in the freezer for a couple hours. And it should be set up and ready to put into our dish. So I'm going to run a knife along the edges. And then I'm just going to try to transfer it to the pie dish. This is the hard part. I think mostly came out okay. Just going to scrape a little bit more of this caramel sauce out of here. And there you have it. Take a bit of this out. I usually just do a big slotted spoon. It's kind of the easiest way to get it out. So here is the final product. And we're just going to do a little taste test. It's very, very good. Very smooth, very creamy. So thanks for watching this video. If you like it, please like and subscribe. And I'm going to be doing more recipes that I like to make. So give me a thumbs up.
Massive thumbs up.
A massive thumbs up. Have a great weekend.